Hey, this is Aamir Qutub from the Dumb Monkey Show. In our episode with Raymond Rodriguez, we briefly touched on vibe coding, but we didn't get a chance to go into it. So let's quickly explore what exactly is vibe coding, why is it relevant for you, and what are some of the key risks and considerations that you should be aware of before you start to vibe code.
I used to pay over $100 a week for an online fitness trainer, right? This is actually where I saw the biggest amount of value for AI is I started thinking, this is too much. My wife's cracking it like, we've got a mortgage. You shouldn't be spending that much money on my PT. I hope he doesn't listen to this if he does. But I started experimenting by getting my WhatsApp logs with him and putting it into Notebook LM at the time, and then ChatGPT, and actually measuring who is giving me better results. And let's interact the same way. Over a period of time, I started seeing that AI was actually delivering me a better ROI. Ended up cutting the trainer, and that's been like the last 6 months, and I'm in better shape and better results than I was with him. I'm not saying that it was any better, but my wallet's obviously definitely better off. And now I'm in the process of launching the product to market, hopefully. And it's just a good example of like a tool like Lovable or Bubble just puts opportunities in people's hands that you never thought would be there.
So these large language models are very good at writing the code. And then there are tools that have been built on the top of that, like Bolt or Lovable or Replit, and there are quite a few other tools out there that you can start to use to create any website or application or software without writing a single line of code. So how you interact with ChatGPT and give it commands, so you can interact with likes of Bolt or Lovable and say, I want an application or a website which is similar to Airbnb or Uber, or you can specify what you want that application to do. And these tools can create that application for you, but not only create the application, they can actually deploy the application as well, which means they can actually help you make it live. Now, the reason it's relevant for you is because we are moving into a world where we are moving away from SaaS-based solutions to organizations having their own software that are customized for their work, which means every organization would be able to have their own tools and own softwares. But most importantly, people like you and me having access to our own personal tools that we would be able to develop by interacting with AI, like how Raymond talked about how he has built the fitness app that is customized to his requirements and his needs and solving a particular problem for him. Now, the risk or consideration that you need to be aware of is that these tools, they are really good at writing the code, but building a piece of software or tool is not just about writing the code. If you engage a software development team like us, there's like a lot of people who are involved in that process, right from project manager to business analyst to an architect who looks at the overall architecture of the application. There's a security person, there's a tester involved. So there's a whole lot of people that are involved in building one website or application or software. So although tools like Lovable or Replit are really good at writing the code and they will create a great UI and it would function the way you want it to function, however, it misses on a lot of edge cases, a lot of things that needs to be considered while building the app. One of the very important thing around that is privacy and security. So if you do not have, like how you would have a big development team, and then you would have someone who's actually managing that development team that knows the skill of every person who's involved in there. So you would know, okay, this developer is really good at writing the database queries, but he cannot write a very optimized code. So that team leader, that tech leader is the one who's actually managing that and making sure that the application is actually built with all of the security, accessibility, performance criteria, and so on. And that's something that these tools miss. So if you are trying to build an application that's going to capture any information, like users' information, or if you're going to hold any personal data into that, or your organization's data, then I would say it's not safe to do it at this point of time. Technology might evolve in next 6 months to 1 year, and we might be able to build fully production ready apps through these tools. But right now, where the capacity is at is that you can build really good working prototypes and even some internal tools for your business, but you wouldn't trust it with production ready apps that you can deploy in your organization. So, an example of an internal tool that you can build for your organization could be something that doesn't interact with your organization's data and something which doesn't capture any of the personal information. So, a good example is that if you want to build a news aggregator that goes onto internet, find the relevant topics and build you a sheet. Now that's where it's not interacting with your own data, it's just interacting with internet, and there are no logins to it. So that's something that is relatively safer to build with these tools. But I wouldn't build a tool where you are putting your organization's information because you have not properly tested it and properly secured it. Now, there is another aspect of vibe coding which is more attractive and more relevant for your business, is where you have a senior developer who is using AI platforms, AI coding platforms like Cursor or Claude Code to make their coding process faster. So by using things like Cursor and Claude Code, we have improved our coding efficiency by 80%, which means the work that we used to do in 6 months, we are able to do it in 2 months or 1 month's time. So the opportunity is that if you have a senior architect or senior tech lead who was generally managing the team, but he or she gets really good at vibe coding, then he or she can actually build a team of coding agents that can work under him, still follow his or her instructions, and produce the code at a much faster rate. So you can easily say that one senior developer or tester can do the work of 5 to 10 people, and that's something that is actually possible now at the moment. So here are the key things to consider. Number one, if you're paying a huge amount of fees in license and subscription to these large companies like Salesforce or NetSuite, and they're still not quite meeting your needs, then there might be an opportunity to look at developing your own systems and softwares that might actually cost lower than the systems that you are using at the moment over the 3 years, but also might be purpose built for your organization and match your requirements much better. So the cost of software development from that perspective has decreased. Secondly, if you have a software development team and they are not using AI or vibe coding, then you are leaving money on the table. Now, again, as I said, there are a lot of risk and considerations around vibe coding. But if they are not embracing AI, they're not using it. And if their excuse is, oh, this is a legacy code, we can't actually use vibe coding or AI coding over here, then it might be the case that they are not comfortable with this change. And there's a bit of change management that you would need to do over there. And finally, if you are a technical person or a developer listening to this and you're not learning to code with AI, then I don't know how you would survive in this age. It's a straight talk, straight message. If you are a developer, if you are a coder, then you need to learn vibe coding, period. There's no other way that you'll be able to have a job in next 2 years. I'll see you in the next episode.